And that's how I feel about our system. And by system, I mean our political system, our financial system, and our foreign policy assumptions. Like they're not rooted in reality. They're not wise. No one can defend them in clear, non-hysterical language. They have to immediately go ad hominem. Your career in the Congress is like the shining example of that. Wait, I don't think it's a good idea to fund more bombing in Libya. Shut up, Russian agent. Right. What? This is way too silly to continue. Or it becomes, in its current form, it either becomes like truly totalitarian when we're like, anyone who steps out of line is going to be involuntarily hospitalized with mental illness.
Right.
The non-white liberal Democrat, a racist because she questions our Syria policy. And that's when I was like, oh, I get it. They're not sincere people. They don't mean a word they say. They just want her to be quiet. And they just don't want to talk about anything that matters. They want to talk about race, which is unsolvable. You're born a race. You stay that race. Okay, it's not an interesting conversation. I don't know why we're still talking about it. What's interesting are the things that you can affect and change, like whether or not to blow up the Nord Stream pipeline, whether or not to start World War III, whether or not to drive your economy into the ditch with your Fed policy. Like these are real debates that we should be having, but we're not because racist. It's all just a weapon designed to divert your attention from their crimes. Well, it's the linchpin of freedom, of course. If you can't say what you think, then you're a slave.
So do you disagree with the special counsel Mueller's conclusion in his report, Mr. Taibbi, that the Trump campaign knew about Russia's interference, they welcomed it, and they used it for their benefit? You have no reason to disagree with that, don't you? You have no information. So after that foreign interference in our 2016 election, Twitter and other social media companies naturally wanted to work with the intelligence community to stop Vladimir Putin from interfering in our elections again. Mr. Taibbi, do you think it's a legitimate pursuit of the FBI to try to stop foreign interference in our elections?
Again, sir, will I be allowed to answer this question or?
It's filthy, really. Twitter was really a tool of the global intel agencies to spy on people and emit propaganda. You'd be facing the attacks you'd be facing from power centers in the country.
I thought there'd probably be some negative reactions, yes. So I'm sure everyone would not be pleased with it. But at the end of the day, you know, if the public is happy with it, that's what matters. And the public will speak with their actions. If they find Twitter to be useful, they will use it more. And if they find it to be not useful, they will use it less. If they find it to be the best source of truth, I think they will use it more. You know, now there's obviously a lot of organizations that are used to having sort of unfettered influence on Twitter. That no longer have that. So, I mean, if you look at the at NY Times Twitter feed, it's unreadable. It's like, because what they do is they tweet every single article, even the ones that are boring, even ones that don't make it into the paper. So, so it's just nonstop, zillion tweets a day with no, you know, they really should just be saying, like, what are the top tweets?
Yes.
You know, like, what are the big stories of the day? I don't know, put out like 10 or something, you know, so some number that's manageable, as opposed to right now, if you were to follow NY Times on Twitter, you're going to get barraged with like hundreds of tweets a day.
Yeah.
And your whole feed will be filled with NY Times.
And
yes.
One of the things we learned after you started opening the books is that they were exerting influence from within Twitter.
I mean, it was absurd.
Did you know that going in?
No.